Okay, how would you like to introduce this podcast, Sam? Have you got a new song to sing this time?
No, I don't have one this.
Oh, come on,
Cheetahman 2 theme. Well, the Cheetahman theme. Do it.
do it.
I can't. You want me to sing it?
Du, du, du. That or Guile's theme to go in with even the game is. There it is.
Hey, I'm Dave, and you're listening to another Podcastle. Joining me tonight is Tam. Hey, Tam.
Hey.
Also got JP, as always.
Hey.
Tonight we have two guests that aren't regularly on podcasts, so it's good to have them join us. We've got Henry.
Hey, long time no podcast.
And Rachel, better known as Fanta No Ice.
Hey.
So this is our new format for another podcast where we just talk about the games that came out last month, whether we picked them up, what their critical reception was like, anything we can think of. But seeing as we have a shitload, and I mean a shitload of games coming out in February, I think we'll probably just skip over a lot of these games that we already talked about last podcast. So one game that we did want to touch on was Life is Strange, which got a physical release. And JP, you said you picked it up. How are you finding it?
I downloaded it. I think it took like 2 days for me to download for some weird reason. I don't know. Kept on going in and out. I kept on losing my connection on the PlayStation.
So you didn't get the physical release, the newest?
No, I got the whole release,
Okay.
and I started playing it today. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Are we going to talk about it? Are we going to spoil things?
Try not to spoil, obviously, but
Please
well,
don't. I
there's
haven't
like
played it yet.
yeah, no. How are you finding it? What are your initial thoughts?
I think it's really interesting, and I can't wait to go along it. And I really like the sort of time warp mechanism. I think the twist is probably going to be she ends up with a brain tumor.
That's an interesting prediction.
Because every time I rewind it, I see more and more blood coming out of hemorrhaging or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know if that's like a side effect.
It is a bit of a weird choice that they went for with the animation when she's rewinding. It is like she's having a seizure almost, or just like she's gonna pass out. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's really interesting replaying those moments and having another choice and saying, I'm going to change this or I'm not going to change this and I'm going to see what happens. Yeah, so I really like that idea. And yeah, I miss these games where it's point and click and you get to choose your own fate.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Life is Strange. I reckon everyone here should pick it up if they haven't already. So guys, you all have the same list I have in front of me. Did you pick up any of those games from January? Sorry.
I did not. I didn't play too many games this month because of general life busyness. But I will note that apparently you guys missed this last night. The one I probably most want to will be The Witness.
Yeah.
That does look really good.
I can't believe we forgot about The Witness last podcast. How did that happen? I blame Tam. Tam made the list. So
Yeah, it's my fault because I generally ignored download-only games. Sorry, guys.
So who here got The Witness? Anyone?
I got The Witness.
Okay, Rachel got The Witness. What are your thoughts on it? Have you played much of it?
Yeah, I haven't played too much, only maybe 2 or 3 hours, but the world is pretty interesting. And I don't know, some of the puzzles you just kind of look at and you're like, what the fudge is this? But some of them you can get quite quickly. But like at work, a bunch of us have all got it and we're just having like little discussions about which areas we've gone to and what puzzles are there. And, I found this puzzle, how do I solve it? And it's like, we're not telling you. It's pretty good. I haven't really played a game with that kind of local, wow, this thing we all have to play at the same time kind of deal for a while. You know what I mean?
Hearing Josh describe it about like the idea of there are some puzzles which you just have to come back to because you'll get it later, like you'll sort of be able to understand it better later on or something like that. It almost sounds like it's Metroidvania puzzles, is what it actually like in terms of genre. which sounds super interesting.
You get a couple of like tricky ones to begin with, and then as you go along, you find like the tutorial puzzles for the mechanic, like because a couple of them might have like multiple mechanics in it, and you'll know how to do a couple, but not another one. So then you'll find the tutorial for that one you don't know, and then you'll come back. But I guess the difference with Metroid is you could potentially do all of them from start to finish. I'm familiar with Metroid, so maybe you can do that in Metroid.
In some, they allow for sequence breaking in some. So, like in a similar vein, I'd be really curious to see what speedrunning stuff they do when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Or is it a game where you effectively need to beat all the puzzles to finish the game?
I think the full thing is about 100 hours, but there's a minimum of about 40 or so.
Jeez.
I don't know how speedrunning's gonna go.
Oh, okay. Then maybe not. Well, I was wondering, about like if someone could choose like all of the correct things in the correct order, like what it would be like when someone knows all of the puzzle solutions, when compared to how it is.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see.
When it's not forced like a Metroidvania, but it sounds like the way that you should approach it is like a Metroidvania. And
yeah, maybe.
That sounds pretty fascinating. And I liked Braid, and Braid was pretty, and The Witness looks pretty.
Yeah, Braid was great.
I might also give it a go after Life is Strange.
I'm pretty interested. The price is just putting me off a bit. It's quite expensive for a download game.
Yeah. It is one of those things where Steam has maybe made me a bit selfish, where I know it's going to go cheap at some point. And I know that I have lots of other games to play before then. So why spend this amount of money when I know there's going to be a point where within the next year where it's at least going to be at 50% off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Jonathan Blow, he tweeted a bit earlier in the week saying that he couldn't give exact numbers, but it got pretty close, if not past, the entire Braid sales of the first year in less than a week.
Well, it's,
I think he came out.
The article I just read said that The Witness has sold 100,000 copies in a week. That's for a digital download title that is selling for $40.
Wait, it's $40 on Steam?
I think that's 40 US as well, isn't it?
US.
Yeah,
so it's
40 US.
6 years.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah. Because on the PlayStation Network, it's like $55.
Yeah, so it's around about the same. The critical reception that I've seen for The Witness has been pretty good. IGN gave it 10 out of 10. I saw that. I mean, because it doesn't really seem to be doing anything wrong with what it was set to do, which is just be a puzzle game.
I don't really like how they're all kind of like the panel puzzles. I wouldn't have minded if they had maybe some environment puzzles, like, push the block around, or
I was going to mention that.
Open doors in series, something like that.
So from what we've seen, it's just like panel puzzles. You're connecting one thing to another thing, or they sort of get a little bit more complicated as they go. But that's just... JP.
Someone eating chips over there.
JP is eating chips.
What was I saying? Yeah. So you haven't encountered any puzzles other than panel puzzles so far, Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few puzzles which kind of connected by cables, but they're all basically a panel.
So it's all sort of just slowly opening up more of this mysterious island, isn't it? With every puzzle.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. There's nothing else to really do. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did see a puzzle the other day where there were trees around it, and you had to pay attention to the trees because some of them had apples in the branches, and they were how you solved the panel puzzle.
Ah, okay.
You do have to take notice of the environment, but you can't manipulate the environment.
Yeah. There has to be a reason it's called The Witness as well. Does this game have a story of some sort?
There might be, but it's not really communicated. It might be more of a metaphoric one, or something that opens up as you keep going along.
So that's January?
That's January. That's all we had, really. I mean, because
it was a pretty weak month.
It was.
So I guess January generally is, because November, December is generally very strong, And then February, March is generally also very strong.
Yeah, that's
January's that dead zone.
Everyone's still playing their Christmas games.
Exactly. Everyone's either still playing their Christmas games or spent all their money at Christmas, so can't actually buy anything.
Before we get into this giant list of games of February, a few bits and bobs of news that we came across this week. Smash DLC is the obvious one that we're obviously going to talk about because we love Smash. Bayonetta and Corrin both drop this Thursday, so tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow or the day after? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
Oh, neat.
Damn, that's way sooner than I thought.
Yeah, it's tomorrow for the UK, but we don't know when do we get stuff?
So we might get tomorrow night or something.
So I'm really looking forward to playing as Bayonetta. And yes, another Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There are 6 Fire Emblem characters now to... How many Zelda characters?
It's what I always wanted.
There's no Banjo. I thought we had a serious shot at
There's
Banjo.
no Banjo.
There was a legitimate chance of that, and I was sad.
I'm glad I'm not the only one shaken up about no Banjo.
Banjo was never a legitimate option.
I'm sorry, you had Phil Spencer saying, yeah, that's cool, and then you had them announcing Cloud. It was a perfectly legitimate option.
Yes.
Yep, no, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it's Microsoft.
Yeah, but Phil Spencer
Cloud
said
makes
it's fine.
Cloud makes sense because of
Cloud does not make
Enix's
sense.
third party.
Cloud does not make sense.
Yeah, Cloud makes no sense. The thing is, Final Fantasy makes sense because it's its history with Nintendo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if Phil Spencer is fine with it, they should put the games which are most well known for the Nintendo console on there. That's fine.
Yeah, he's probably fine with it, but it depends what the actual terms and conditions are.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be licensing fees and the like. Because there's a lot of other legal stuff that Phil Spencer wouldn't get into on a 100-character Twitter tweet.
To be fair, any kind of restrictions would have been fine, though. Like, they would have been able to get around it. And if he wouldn't have made the tweet if he didn't think it were legitimately fine.
And the thing is, it's also up to Sakurai. I doubt he's that much of a Banjo fan.
Yeah, probably not, but still.
If Banjo was ever to be considered, I would like it if we could get Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie on Virtual Console as a payback.
Not gonna happen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, so that's the only way I would agree to that.
What?
No.
How is that payback? Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we got Final Fantasy VII on a Virtual Console, maybe, but outside of that, nah, it's fine. I'm happy with Banjo.
Well, we'll probably, honestly, Henry, we'll probably get Final Fantasy VII on NX.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Remake.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
It makes a lot of sense.
2 years after everyone else.
Yeah,
of course.
That too. Naturally. I mean, what else would we expect?
It wouldn't be a Nintendo. It wouldn't be a game on a Nintendo platform otherwise.
And speaking of NX and Smash, I mean, we discussed last Smash podcast we did that, there is probably the potential of a NX version of Smash being released, and then maybe they continue to add characters that are exclusive to the NX version.
Yeah.
Would you be all right with that, Henry? Rachel? Do you see that potentially happening?
I think this
I'm okay with them making a re-release if they want. Don't know if I would get it.
I'd probably buy it just
They
out
should
of
add Banjo.
marketing.
If you could have Banjo, would you buy the same game again on NX?
Yes, but that's just kind of explicit,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, because it wouldn't be the
Dude,
same
I bought an
game.
Xbox One so I could get the Rareware thing when I already owned most of them.
Game. It wouldn't be the same game if it had Banjo. It's a different game.
Okay.
Different content.
You know what I mean. The same game, except now with Banjo. I think that's enough on Smash DLC. We're excited that we get new characters
We just
tomorrow.
can't hide it.
And we just can't.
Yes.
We are very poor at hiding our Smash excitement.
There's no more characters.
That's what they want you to think.
When do I get my Roy amiibo?
Yeah, they haven't made mention of the amiibo yet. Like I haven't.
Oh, I got Lucas yesterday.
Yeah, so I got Lucas today. We haven't seen the Bayonetta and Corrin amiibo yet, have we?
I don't
No,
think so.
we haven't. But yeah, they've
Definitely
shown
would be
pictures,
coming.
haven't they?
Man, I can just imagine like, oh god, so many memes of like just crotch shots of like Bayonetta's amiibo.
Well, they already did that photo. Like the Nintendo posted that picture of Bayonetta being followed by Mario and Luigi and someone else, all carrying like big presents for her, and it was just.
Oh
It was.
dear.
Yeah, they embrace it. They surprisingly embrace it. Anyway,
It's all
Yeah.
Japan, really.
Yeah.
I saw another nice screenshot floating around. I don't know if it's actually on the official Smash site, but there's one of all the DLC characters together. I think it's on Bayonetta's stage, if she has a stage. I assume she has.
she does. She does.
Yeah.
She does.
She
yeah.
does.
I could see the moon in the background, so I knew it was a Bayonetta stage.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we have? Lego Force Awakens. That surprisingly got announced. Actually, it's not really surprising. Did we discuss this last podcast? That we were sick of all the Lego games, and they should just start expanding Lego Dimensions and play around with that.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, that's exactly what I said last episode, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the point of Lego Dimensions was. They can just continue adding things to it.
But no, we had Lego Avengers last month, and now we're going to have Lego The Force Awakens. And then there'll probably be a Lego game for the next Star Wars movie. And the movie.
Lego Deadpool.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That would actually be able to capture the humor of Deadpool.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be allowed to use Lego to do
No.
it.
No.
But
Why
but
not?
the thing is, I haven't barely bought any Lego games, and I haven't like even watched anything from Lego games for a long time. And I saw the ad for that, and I said, yeah, that looks cool. I might want to get that.
It does
So-
look pretty good for a Lego game.
Yeah, and the big Lego games kind of like at least of this generation-ish of Lego games kind of started with Star Wars, didn't it? And I think that was always a good fit.
It was either Star Wars or Indiana Jones. It was probably Star Wars.
Yeah, probably they wouldn't start with Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones cool, but it's still not Star.
They started with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that was always a good fit.
It
And I
was.
think that it still is. And I think it would be nice to see what they do with new characters and
Yeah.
such.
Mighty Number 9, JP. How do you feel about the delay? This is the third delay, isn't it? And when are we getting this? It's another.
I have a theory that it's going to get delayed 9 times.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
everyone watches the game at that same theory.
we don't know when it comes out now because it was
Yeah.
supposed to release September last year. Then it got pushed to like February. It got pushed to February release date, and now Keiji Inafune is like, it's got to release in quarter 2 2016, but I don't know when. But it's still coming, guys. It's coming.
Yeah. Keep kickstarting.
Yeah, but
Well-
maybe he'll launch another Kickstarter for Mighty Number 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this,
No.
and this one will be like
Yeah.
the Kickstarter to make sure it comes out in 2016. I need like another $200,000, guys.
Yeah.
Give me that money, I'll ensure that it releases.
Yeah.
It is a really weird thing with Kickstarter because they clearly started it off saying that they didn't need that much money to make the game. They thought they could
Yeah.
make it with this much. And it feels like with all of the extra money, they tried to find reasons to spend money rather than thinking of how much should this game actually cost.
But then
And
again,
that-
Yeah.
this is the same guy who started a Kickstarter for another game while this Kickstarter still hasn't been finished. Well, this project hasn't been finished. Then he's like, oh, I'm cancelling this. This Kickstarter's going to be just for stretch goals now because I just got private funding for this game. It's like, why have the Kickstarter to begin with?
Yeah. Not to mention that Penguin Pirate game that was going to be on 3DS. That's not a thing anymore, right? That's been properly
No, it
cancelled.
got cancelled.
So maybe it wasn't Capcom's fault about Mega Man Legends 3. Maybe Keiji Inafune just doesn't know how to release a game.
I would not be surprised by that.
What is a project management?
No, exactly.
So I'm just going to rattle off some more bits and bobs of news. I'm just scrolling through the stuff we've retweeted on the Another Castle account. So if anything jumps out at you, go for it, start talking. The Division is going to get an open beta after it had that closed one, which was ridiculous. I couldn't get in. I was so disappointed. Anyway, What else was there? Pokemon Go is going to be shown at GDC next month. That should be exciting.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
I feel
I
like-
hope they give specs of some sort so I know if I need to get a new phone to play
Yeah.
it. Because that combined with the fact that my phone is kind of breaking down, I probably would.
I'll get a
Pokemon
new
Go.
phone just to be able to play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
If
What?
I have
Why need a phone when you can just get the watch?
to. Anyway.
So are we all going to be getting Pokemon Go and our lives going to end because we'll just have to be like going across town just to get Pokemon?
Oh,
At
yeah.
midnight?
Our lives will be beginning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the better term.
It's like, oh,
we
we'll be like, oh, there's this Pokemon I need to catch, but it's a half an hour drive away and it's currently midnight. Oh, I'll get in the car. See you guys.
we are all adults here, well into our 20s, most of us. I'm probably the youngest. But
I'm
in
the
our
youngest,
hearts,
but
we are
whatever.
soon going to be turning 10 years old.
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Because it's a moment in the first episode of the Pokemon anime when we're given a Pokeball and a Pokédex.
They should just
like-
make Ho-Oh be in the sky for everyone.
My Nintendo, we got details for that. That was just today, actually.
Yeah, because it was a Nintendo stockholders meeting.
So, for those that don't know, this is the new thing to replace Club Nintendo. It's going to launch in 30 countries. That's this March, and that includes Australia. So that's good. All we
I
know.
can't wait to be offered like hand towels again and other
I still have those
useful
hand towels.
things.
Those are pretty legit hand towels.
Mm.
And I honestly have been using the cards that I got from Club Nintendo, and I've been getting like compliments from friends that don't even care about video games.
Well,
So
from this image I'm looking at here, it's going to include me hats and it's going to include 3DS themes. I don't know whether that's better than hand towels, but
it's not.
Mm.
It's not at all. I want more hand towels.
We also know the service will reward members with 2 types of points: platinum points, gold points. I don't think we know how it
Which one's better?
Gold points are for Japan.
is. That
So gold points.
Silver
then.
points are for everywhere else, and silver points don't get anything.
While gold points get all the cool stuff in Japan only.
Yeah.
Okay, gold points are more valuable but can only be earned by buying games from the eShop.
In Japan.
So basically, they're trying to encourage digital downloading because they get more money. The margins are lower.
Hmm.
Which is why the prices should be lower. But you know, whatever. Was there any other important bits of news, Dave? Or should we move on to the massive list of February games?
Yeah, there's probably other news, but let's just, who cares? February. Alright, so we're not going to get through all of these games, but we'll touch on a few that some of us are interested in. But I'll quickly rattle off the list anyway. So we've got Gravity Rush Remastered, XCOM 2, Firewatch, Unravel, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, Etrian Odyssey Untold 2, Legend of Legacy, Street Fighter 5, Project X Zone 2, Far Cry Primal, The Walking Dead Michonne, The Escapists, The Walking Dead, and Bravely Second.
Breathe in, David.
Bravely Second has a
Yeah.
title too, doesn't it? I forgot what it is. But...
And layer.
End Layer.
And Leia.
What a weird subtitle. Anyway,
Come on, Dave. The first game was called Bravely Default Flying Fairy.
yeah, it comes worse than that. So,
Oh, come on. I actually like Bravely Second and Leia.
It does follow the theme that Bravely
Yeah.
Default set of having 4 words that seemingly have no significance when put together. They are just 4 different words.
Just open up the dictionary.
Yeah,
It's
just
still-
flick to random things. I think second is the only one that means anything.
It's still a better name than Legend of Legacy.
that is true, which we'll get to in a minute, Tam, because I know you've been playing that. Gravity Rush Remastered. I don't think anyone's picked that up yet. I just picked it up today because it only just came out today. But yeah, I'm excited to play that because I like
What is it?
It's Gravity Rush, the Vita game, but it's remastered. It's on PS4 now.
Oh, I've never played a Gravity Rush.
There's only been one.
Oh,
And
is it a racing game? Is it a
It's on
is
Vita.
it a fighting game? Is it
It's-
a
It's more like a superhero
game?
game.
Isn't it like an action adventure sort of game?
Yeah, action adventure.
Okay.
So I am going to very quickly go back. I'm sorry. I know we have so many things to go through, but
Yeah.
I just went to a random word generator and I created the new Blockbuster RPG admission buck comparison winner. So I just wanted people to know that.
I'll take 5 copies.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Continue, Dave. I'm sorry.
Anyway. Yeah.
I don't know if I can concentrate after that.
Yeah.
Who's looking forward to XCOM 2?
I am extremely.
Yep,
I haven't pre-ordered it, but I'm kind of regretting not pre-ordering it. I'll probably go down on Friday and pick it up. It's probably one of my most anticipated games of the year, I think.
What if they change? Like, what in particular are you looking forward to, Tam?
Well, whilst the Enemy Unknown was my game of the year for 2012, but one of my issues with it was that there was a limited amount of map variance, and in XCOM 2 they have introduced randomly generated maps, so it's going to be a lot less repetitive, and they've added new classes, and I think that just the overall feel of it is different now, since it's set as a sequel to XCOM 1, but with the ending that in XCOM 1 the aliens took over Earth, so it's a lot more. It seems to have more of an interesting story of a sort of resistance fighting against the aliens, which interests me a lot. And I just think because the gameplay formula in XCOM 1 was so solid and enjoyable that any improvements they've made in XCOM 2 is going to be very, very good. So I do recommend everyone to pick it up, I think. I think it is going to be a very, very good game.
You're right, JP?
Sorry.
That's all good. That's all good.
He's just dying.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm done.
You should definitely play XCOM, JP, since you like Fire Emblem.
Oh god, I feel like a Dumbo. What is XCOM?
It's basically a tactical strategy game.
Okay, what is it
Turn-based.
available on?
It's turn-based like Fire Emblem. Well, it's about basically you control a team called XCOM against the alien invasion of Earth.
Okay.
So there's parts of base management where you manage a base, research new technology, armor, and that sort of stuff, and then there's the missions where you take on the aliens.
Yeah.
The few reviews that have already released for XCOM 2 have been almost, probably on par and better.
Yeah. I haven't talked to anyone who's played XCOM who didn't love XCOM.
No, I think
But,
the only ones that didn't love it were the very hardcore enthusiasts of the original games who didn't find it hardcore enough and found it a bit too casualized, but I'm not one of them. Oh, and some people do get frustrated by the random number generator element, where, for example, you're given a 80% chance that your attack's gonna hit and it misses.
Oh. Nah.
Oh god.
Like you, Dave. Some people absolutely hate that, but I find it enjoyable because it adds a tint of realism to the game, because in a realistic operation, a military operation, you're not going to be your soldiers aren't going to be able to hit their targets 100% of the time.
Yeah.
They all use hydro pump.
Yeah. I mean, that same thing happens in Fire Emblem. Well, they'll tell you a percentage, but that doesn't mean they're always going to hit the other person.
Yep. Although Fire Emblem's even more frustrating with the critical percentages, when, say, an enemy has a 1% crit chance of hitting you, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to take out this enemy and finish clear the board. And it crits you, and your character dies, and you have to restart the level again.
I love that moment.
All right. Rather than going through the list one by one, let's just jump to different. So, Henry, I know you're looking forward to Street Fighter V.
Yes, I am very, very much looking forward to Street Fighter V. I'm super excited.
You got to play the beta. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, it's obviously in beta, so there are things that they are testing. It's hard to know certain things with netcode. Like, it's using rollback netcode at the moment, which effectively means, to the best of my understanding and ability of explaining it, that like they sync them up better is probably a better way of saying it. Where the advantage is that it's better overall, especially at lower connection qualities. When it's super laggy, people start teleporting around everywhere, and you'll see it like correct itself. So you'll block a cross up, and then it'll show that you got hit a second later, because it's like has to correct itself when trying to sync the two up. But they're still over faster because the laggy match is going to be crap. But in terms of how the game actually feels and plays, it's really, really, really good. it just feels correct. It's doing something very different from Street Fighter 4, and I still think I'm going to find Street Fighter 4 to be my favorite so far, unless I'm hopefully convinced otherwise, because I'm always happy to enjoy another game more. But yeah, it's clearly knows what it's doing, and with very few exceptions, I feel like it's doing it really, really well. Good character variety, like it's easier to pick up, so I will be hounding the forums to tell people to go and try to start this game, because it is a much easier game to pick up, both because there are only 16 characters, which they have good variety and such, but there's still only 16 of them. But things like links are way easier. They have a really good input buffer. That means that I haven't had really any issues doing any basic combos with any character. I could pick it up in like a minute. So, really, really promising.
I've seen a few in the Skype chat talking about it. They seem pretty keen, just because it does seem a bit easier to jump into.
Yeah, well, the reasons it's easier to jump into, a lot of it's sort of behind the scenesy kind of stuff. They've made some very subtle mechanic changes, which I think are very intelligent for what they're trying to do. I still like my Street Fighter 4, but I get what they're doing there, and the changes they've made, I think, are sort of 90% of them are very, very smart.
So looking forward to Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Actually, two of my favorites are still in the game, so they're Vega and Chun-Li. So I'll be looking forward to playing as them. And yeah, I might give it a go. I'm not the biggest Street Fighter fan, but I'm always up for a tryout.
I will note that my characters are not in this game, and that does make me a bit sad, but they will be there eventually through DLC.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah, Blanca and Honda, they're going to be there eventually. But Nikali is there to satiate my charge character that moves forward with the move. Yeah.
I also like the fact we're starting off with 16 characters, because there's so many times where we have so many characters, I really don't know how to break it down or like stick with a perfect 3 or something.
Yeah.
Because even with Smash now, I have like a top 10, and I have 5 other characters I also like, so it's impossible to actually stick with.
Yeah, but JP, if they came out with another Smash game and it was only 16 characters to start with, and then they added more later, you'd be like, oh, this isn't enough characters, what's going on?
Strangely, I have not seen much of that at all for Street Fighter 5, because I think people were a bit sick of the overload of characters.
Yeah.
And I think, it is much more of a different game, but it doesn't have the same element of like fan serviness as Smash does, where it's like, oh god, they don't have Ridley in there, where people, for example, I mean, despite me loving Blanca, people are going, yes, Blanca isn't in this game, because he's really annoying to play against, which I will admit. He is very annoying to play against.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think people are like specifically happy that there are fewer characters in this game, but also all future characters can be earned through playing the game. So you can buy them, but everything is earnable through in-game stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Speaking of fighters that are a bit more fan servicey, Project X Zone 2, JP, you're looking forward to that one. I don't know if you are as well, Henry. You like your fighting games, but
is it a proper fighting game?
Yeah.
Well, not really.
No, it's not a fighting game. It's more of a beat 'em up, turn-based strategy game, I guess.
okay.
Yeah, I never played the first one. I liked
yeah.
the fan service, but yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of is a fighting game in the terms of it does have a combo system, somewhat of a rudimentary one, but there is a combo system when it comes to the combat.
Yeah, I remember watching footage of the when ads came out, and you had Ryu in it, and he was doing like Shoryuken FADC Ultra 1 effectively. So he was doing Street Fighter 4 combos. Like he was doing actual things very directly from Street Fighter 4, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like my Street Fighter 4 combos. But yeah.
So what characters are in Project X Zone 2? What do they all come from? Like certain publishers, I'm guessing. I'm not familiar with it.
I think they come from Sega, Namco, Capcom, and now there's also Nintendo ones joining, and Monolith Soft ones joining.
Oh, okay.
So from Nintendo, we have Fire Emblem characters this time round. I believe it's Lucina, and I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the other two. But I know Lucina is going to be part of it this time.
Is the Monolith Soft one Shulk?
No, it isn't. I'm very surprised at this. It's Fiora and someone from Xeno Sega. So I'll just check the monolith.
It's
I really
it's
don't
cos-
like watching footage because
Well,
I
the-
really want it new when I see it.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Did I hear it right? Was Phoenix right in that game?
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
apparent-
that's right. Is in
Gotta
it
get
this
the
time.
shiz out of that.
Yeah.
And the great thing is
I don't
they've
think
tried to
Phoenix Wright was in it last time.
No, he wasn't. And the great thing is they've tried to implement a coherent plot, somewhat of a more coherent plot line in this game. So apparently,
Why?
for I don't really understand it completely, but for some reason, Heihachi needs a lawyer, so he's gone to get Phoenix right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I'm not
yes.
joking here.
It is Crom and Lucina.
Oh, Crom. Yep. Okay.
Crom and Lucina are the Fire Emblem representatives, and Cosmos from Xenosaga and Fiora from Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm really surprised Shulk isn't in it. Yeah.
Well,
'Cause I
Shulk
thought they
probably
would
can't be because he's already in Smash. There's probably
Yeah.
a bit of... Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey guys, do you remember Segata? Or I don't know how to say
Segata
this.
Sanshiro.
Segata
Yeah,
Sashiro.
Segata Sanshiro. He is
Yeah.
in this.
Who's that?
Oh man.
that
He
is the
used
only
to be the
reason-
90s guy who did the
I-
Sega commercials.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Now I've got
Yeah,
to buy
basically-
another video game.
Basically, Dave in the 90s in Japan for the Saturn Sega
Yeah.
had ads with this guy called Sekita Sanshiro, who was a basically a karate guy who in these ads went around forcing people to play Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
And they had this fine.
It's the
they had
only
this-
reason the Sega Saturn sold in Japan. Just
Yes,
because of
it
this
was.
one guy.
And
Yeah.
the great thing is, in this final ad where I think it's either Nintendo or Sony are firing missiles at the Sega headquarters, and Segata Sanshiro stops it, goes into space, and that's like the plot line for Segata Sanshiro. He's disappeared now because he saved Sega.
Oh,
God.
God.
He's
not
gone now.
Captain Commando?
So every character has a reason for being in this game. They have a plot
The,
to it.
the only one I've heard, of is
No,
the
I wouldn't
Heihachi.
really say they have a reason. They try to give it a story, but yeah, it's so complicated and so out there that yeah, you're just happy all these characters are together.
I
in
just
the
want to
end.
have them have Miles Edgeworth and Miles Prower just have a conversation and go, hey man, we're both called Miles. And that to me is just complete aside.
Isn't Miles
Please
a great name,
There
Miles?
is no Sonic and Tails in this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought it would fit in this kind
I
of
don't care
game.
about Sonic, I just want Miles in there.
Yeah.
Interestingly, they've seemed to have avoided any anthropomorphic characters. They're all
Oh.
humans.
Ah,
That's why you haven't seen any like Sonic characters
Yeah.
or like Klonoa on the Namco side.
I also didn't know Axel
Pac-Man.
Stone is going to be in this one from Streets of Rage.
And it also has Bruce Willis.
what?
Yes, Bruce. Willis.
John McClane, I would hope.
Well, no, technically, because basically there's a Sega game called Dynamite Cop, and it was basically reskinned into a Die Hard game on the Saturn.
So it is John McClane. John McClane? John McClane.
Yeah, so
I always
basically it's
I always mistake
John
that
McClane.
character and the presidential candidate.
So basically,
I
it's
don't see
McClane.
that on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dynamite Cop.
Dynamite Cop.
All right, guys. So I think we've done at least one of each of us that they're looking forward to, except Rachel. Is there any game you're planning to pick up this month, Rachel?
I'm definitely looking at Firewatch.
Oh
That
yeah.
looks pretty interesting, and there's a lot of pedigree behind it. When I looked at the Steam thing,
Yeah.
someone
So
behind
what
The Walking Dead and Mad Men and Brutal Legend.
Wow.
What actually
A
is
bunch of others.
Firewatch?
Yeah, I'm interested to know exactly what it is. Richard didn't really describe it. He just said it was really good, and he wanted to talk about it in this podcast, and then he didn't show up. But Firewatch, Rachel, what is it?
Well, pretty much just sold on the Steam description. It looks very pretty, and first person mystery game.
Mystery
I don't
game.
know, I'm just so down for those sorts of explorative
So what's the actual
story
game?
things.
It's just exploring. Like the only game that comes to mind is Gone Home, and it's definitely not like that, is it? No. So.
No, I mean, I haven't like played a demo or anything, but
Dear
really
Esther
keen on the
with colour
environment.
and maybe also good, because I was not fond of Dear Esther. It's about a man named Henry, so I probably should pick it up.
Anything else you're looking forward to, Rachel? Out of that list there? Or is there any others?
Nah.
Nah.
Oh, maybe Unravel. I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I
Unravel.
haven't looked too hard into it.
Tam and I both played Unravel at PAX. I imagine you did as well? No?
I didn't play anything at PAX.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I was a bit worried that it's coming out too soon. And then I heard it was coming out this month, and I'm worried about the game. I don't think it's going to be as good as it could be. It should have had a longer development time. I think.
Well, maybe they needed to keep it short so they can move on to something else and not keep wasting all their money.
Fair enough, I suppose.
It's like one guy though. Surely the development cost isn't that expensive.
Yeah.
When I was playing it at PAX, I thought it was a bit unpolished, and I actually ran into a glitch where I couldn't continue the demo.
This is an EA published game, and this is very unlike EA to publish a game like this. And I fear that if it is negatively received, we'll just see EA stick with their sports games and whatnot. They're not going to venture out too much and find developers like this guy, this really talented, shaky guy that we all love, and he made this very cute game that could be something better if it was given a long development time. And I can't help but feel that it's getting rushed out and it's not ready. But we'll see. Time will tell. I mean, Richard.
I guess that's what patches are for as well.
Yeah, true. At least we have patches these days. But Richard was worried about Battlefront, I think, for similar reasons, that it was, them just rushing out a Star Wars game. Here's a Star Wars game, and that it was, it was just going to crash and burn. Thankfully, it didn't.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, because, I mean, if EA can get behind any developers and just give them the money they need, then that's better for the industry, as an art form. But if this guy can't deliver, then it means that any further ones that they're thinking of taking on are in doubt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's my worry. Okay, other games this month. Just looking at that list, it's such a long list. I think we've covered at least half, maybe now. JP, you wanted to talk about Bravely Second. Anything you're looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to playing it again, or playing the sequel, and having fun with the new jobs. Yeah.
So, do we know?
I think there's one where you're like a cake thrower. You throw cakes at people.
What?
That looks really fun.
So, Bravely Second, is it the same characters as the first one? It's.
I'm not entirely sure. I think I know that Ares, is it? Yeah, Ares is there.
There's both, Dave. There's a bit of overlap, but there are new characters.
Yeah. I know that Agnes is back.
It is a true sequel in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they left the first one, I was so anxious to get into the next one. I was like, why did you have to have a cliffhanger like that? This is Golden Sun all over again. Yeah, except this one is actually getting a sequel. So I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be interesting, and hopefully I'll be able to enjoy it again and go the whole way. Because I've heard there's like 2 different endings again.
I wanted to pick up the original, but it was like way after it'd come out, and I couldn't find a copy, and I couldn't really be bothered trying too hard to find one. I looked around in my local area, couldn't find one, so... I mean, I might play the sequel, but hopefully I can play it. I'll find out first whether I can play it without playing the first one. What do we got left? Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. I played the beta of that. I might pick that up, but definitely not at EB's $99.95 price.
Yeah.
What?
that shouldn't be a price for video games anymore.
Have they brought
That
back
shouldn't
the
even be a
$100?
price for Plant vs. Zombies.
Yeah, definitely not for PvZ because the first Garden Warfare was like a digitally priced game. So it was, I think it was around $30-$40 for the Xbox 360 version and $40-$50 for the Xbox One version. And that was part of the reason it appealed to me in the first place, and I picked it up.
Yeah, so Garden Warfare 1. I think it was the 20th anniversary of PlayStation or something, and they were giving away a bunch of games for free, and one of them was Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hell yeah, because I really like the original. And basically I'm just kind of sitting there for like hours playing the little mini game they have before it's fully downloaded. And I'm like, this is horrible. I really hope there's something good when the game comes up. And then the game did come up, and it's just a menu saying, you cannot continue without a PS Plus account. And I'm like, wow, the install minigame was better than the actual game. And it just blows my mind because, like, parents would have probably bought that game for their kids and them not be able to play it because they don't have a PS Plus account or anything. That's just really BS. So definitely not looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah.
It was just dumb because, like, it had a single-player campaign that you just could not select.
That is stupid.
Okay, other games: Etrian Odyssey, Untold 2, and Legend of Legacy, similar in ways. Tam and I are both playing each of those. I'm playing the former. So I guess we'll have more to talk about next podcast when we look back on these games, if any of us pick them up. Tam, you've already started playing Legend of Legacy, yeah?
Yeah, I've played about 3 hours of it now. It's interesting. Just for a JRPG, it's very lacking on plot and story. I find it very strange that it doesn't seem to actually have a XP system. Randomly, my general attack level and various ability levels just increase. After battle, it just says, "Oh, you've increased your HP." Your character gets an extra 10 HP, and I actually don't know why. I can't find any XP bar or anything. It just seems like I increasingly get better after a random amount of battles, and I actually don't understand it. It's bizarre. And it has a really interesting art style, very similar to Bravely Default, but interestingly, it kind of has a pseudo 3D environment, and the environmental items just pop up out of nowhere when you get closer to them. It's kind of like in N64 games where you had the fog, and when you got closer to items, they just came out of the fog. But in this, it's just the screen. It just looks like a flat background, but once you get closer to it, it just pops out. Like a rock will just pop out of nowhere. It's like, what? I think, like you said, I'll have more to say about it once I play more, write the review, and talk about it next month. But
yeah,
I do think it probably is a middle of the road JRPG. I don't think it's going to be anything outstanding. Well, you just go by the title, guys. Legend of Legacy.
Legend of Legacy. What a name.
What a name.
Alright, we should try to wrap this up anyway. I think we've gone on long enough. The Walking Dead is getting a new... that's Telltale, isn't it? The Michonne one. Yeah, it is. That's another Walking Dead game, but it's not about Clementine. It's a spin-off. Well, at least I don't think Clementine's in it. It's a spin-off about Michonne from the main Walking Dead series, so... that'll be interesting, I guess. I might pick that up if it's cheap enough to download on Steam or whatever.
Are you a fan of Michonne?
Well, I watched Walking Dead, and I liked the first 2 Telltale Walking Dead games, so I'll probably like it.
I
And
should really pick up one of these.
you should, yes. Well, I mean, you're playing Life is Strange, which is it's sort of like a Telltale game. Yeah.
Do I actually kill zombies in Walking Dead, or do I try to avoid them as much as possible?
Yeah, it's mostly like
You do kill them.
following a story. So there are moments where you definitely do kill zombies. There are moments where you avoid, but it's kind of as it follows the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's built into the overall story.
Okay.
Speaking of The Walking Dead, The Escapists is getting another release. I assume that's a physical release. Maybe it's just a download release, and it's called The Escapists: The Walking Dead. So I didn't play the original, but I mean, Case Case's review kind of put me off of it. He didn't enjoy it too much. I think everyone else on the internet enjoyed it that I've seen. But yeah, so it's basically escaping from a prison using what you can, but now it's Walking Dead, so everyone's a zombie.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't think I'll never get over how amusing Case's subtitle for that review was.
I've forgotten it. You have to remind me. I don't know how he hated it so much. Actually, I probably wouldn't enjoy it either.
I just remember the controversy some had in the staff chat when he was like, "Oh, I only played it for 40 minutes, but I'm writing this really half review of it."
Oh yeah. Some people don't think that's long enough.
No. Oh, here's what he said. For the subtitle, it's slightly more fun than actually being in prison.
And with that, I think we can. Far Cry Primal. Okay, that's the last one. I haven't seen much on this game. Was it only just announced at E3 last year? And now it's
I
coming
believe
out.
so.
Yeah. So it's Far Cry, except it's Primal. It's about dinosaurs and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically like. It's actually, I think it's more of an action. It's basically like Blood Dragon, but using the Far Cry 4 engine, kind of like how Blood Dragon used the Far Cry 3 engine.
Well, people really liked Blood Dragon, so
yeah. And I guess it's interesting that this one's more based on crafting weapons and like hunting dinosaurs.
Mm.
Well, I assume it's hunting dinosaurs. Maybe just hunting normal animals, but surely you can't have a game based in that era and have no dinosaurs.
Yeah, it looks at least mammothy.
At least one mammoth, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But cool.
All right, guys. So just looking back at that list, is there any game you'll definitely pick up this month? I don't think we need to ask Henry.
Yeah, you don't need to ask Henry.
yeah, I think all of us will at least pick up one game.
Oh god, I'm gonna pick up 3.
I've already pre-ordered the Bravely Second limited edition, which I'm kind of thinking about cancelling since it's $160.
Oh really?
What?
Thank god I'm not pre-ordering that.
I pre-ordered it before they confirmed the price. I was like hoping it would be like more like 120, but now it's like 160. I'm just like, I don't know.
God, so the game is usually $50 to $60, so you're paying an extra $100 for the figurine.
You're making a habit of buying these extravagant special editions, Tim, and then never playing the games or playing them.
Hey, I did install StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void today, so
Okay.
not all my games go to waste.
You installed it. You didn't play it. You just installed it.
I just installed it. It took a while to install.
Okay.
Practically the same.
Yeah, because the thing is, Dave, now it's installed. If I want to play StarCraft, I'll be like, oh, I have it installed. I can play it now. So it's conducive to my gaming style.
Yeah, I hear you. All right.
Now you got to open it, and then you've got an update.
No, it has updated. It's ready to go.
But there will be more updates, and then you'll be like, I can't play it now.
I think the message of this month though is you all should go buy XCOM 2.
Yeah.
I think the message of this month is there's too many freaking games coming out in 1 month, and
the only one that matters is XCOM 2.
Do we know anything about games coming out in March?
Oh yeah.
Apart from
Twilight Princess.
I think
and Tournament and
Twilight Princess, Pokken Tournament. I think isn't Mirror's Edge coming out in March?
Oh god, that was a thing.
I didn't know.
That was indeed a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually looking very. I still haven't played the first one. But
Actually,
I'm looking very forward to
has Fire Emblem Fates been given a release date yet for Australia?
Not for us. It comes out this month in the US, but not sure.
So
Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll get it.
still wait.
And Dave, the Division is March as well.
Okay. So we've got some games coming out.
If things go well, we'll also get PAL Lacrosse 16. You're going to check it out, right?
Always.
Could I potentially request to finish off this podcast by generating the next popular JRPG?
Do it.
Yes.
Do it? Okay, let's see this. Smart Gnome Few Ribbon. Smart Gnome Few Ribbon. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to type it into the chat just so it's there forever.
Did you say smart? No, few ribbon.
No, for Smart gnome, as in like garden gnome.
Oh, there's a
There it is.
gnome.
Smart gnome Few Ribbon. I think it works. I'm happy with
I'd
that.
play it.
Yeah.
So is it like is it a garden gnome simulator?
Well, it's a garden gnome RPG, naturally. You
Is
can't have one of these and not have it be a JRPG.
Few Ribbon the subtitle?
Ribbons are a limited
Yes.
resource.
Yes,
Yep.
Smart Gnome is the name of it, so clearly that's the main character.
Smart gnome. Yeah.
Or the main villain, depending on things. Few Ribbon is the subtitle. There is a ribbon shortage.
Or maybe you are the villain.
Yeah, potentially. These things can... You don't know what to suspect. What to expect. Suspect, expect, same thing.
This game has potential.
This game has potential.
I think Rachel should get on this right now. Smart gnome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I'm
give
going
you
to steal
permission.
it right here. I'm going to do it for my mobile game.
I'm opening Unity right now.
Yeah.
Oh, screw you,
Get it.
Rachel. I'm going to beat you.
You can share. One of you can do Smart Gnome Few Ribbon, and one of you can do a mission butt comparison winner.
And see which
You
one's
can
a
do
better
the
game.
companion app.
Yeah.
So what would an admission buck comparison winner be about anyway?
Well,
I
again,
assume-
clearly the admission buck is the main character.
is it a buck as in like an animal or?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
The admission buck is the main character. I mean, this is making far too much sense, actually. So I think that we should scrub this off. Because comparison winner, he admits people if comparatively they win. That's why he admits people. That's your job. So
Should we really be talking about this on a podcast?
probably
Or
not.
Dave
Some-
can,
Could
Dave
steal
can cut this
ideas.
out.
We
Where
better
else do we talk about such things, JP?
We better patent.
And on the
Oh.
next episode, we demo
Copyright.
Smart Gnome Few Ribbon.
Go for it. I would play it.
And in the effect of me's on Tinder.
Yes, grind me.
Oh god! Don't bring that back. Tinder, was it? Me Tinder.
Me hummy.
Yeah, that was solid.
And Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Wait, did someone say love me Tinder?
Tinder
Because that's what
sounds
it should
shit.
be.
Love me Tinder. Alright guys, let's end it.
Okay.
Thank you for all joining in tonight. I hope you had fun. And
Thank you.
hopefully you can all join in next month.
I hope listening to this podcast was slightly more enjoyable than prison.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Tam's goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen. I think Amiibo Festival is worse than like Funky Barn.
Probably is the worst Wii U game, besides Sonic Boom and Devil's Third. Have you still got a full
Devil's
party?
Third. Oh, I didn't get to talk about Devil's Third.
Tam didn't get to talk about Devil's Third.
Next
Oh,
time.
was that released this month?
No, but I wanted to
Awesome.
talk about it anyway, and Dave said I could.
I did grant permission.
Dave, because don't.
It's not my fault. You forgot,
So,
alright?
what do you actually do in the damn game?
It's a masterpiece. Dave, don't you love the
It's
bats?
It's a game where you run through and you can kill as many of these steroid buffed up fucking prisoners, but you can't kill bats because bats are unkillable in Devil's Third. I cannot figure out why I can't kill the bat.
So I get kill buffed
And-
up
and the
steroid
thing
guys,
is-
but I
no,
can't kill
Yeah,
bats.
and the issue is the bats damage you like a lot. They do a lot
lot.
of damage.
They do so much damage. I was running through just trying to kill them all, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm killing them, and I turn around and they're all still there. It's
Oh,
How
God.
far? You know, you Dave.
I played the first level. That was it.
Oh, okay.
I killed that guy that seemed like a boss, but he probably wasn't a boss.
Oh, the boss fights are the most ridiculous things because like there was this one boss fight which was this just basically giant mutant thing, and all you basically have to do is just melee attack it and dodge. Like that's the whole boss fight. Like slash it a few times and dodge.
The game is an absolute mess when it comes to weapons. Oh yeah, here you can have this. Oh no, this. Oh, this weapon. Look at this weapon. It's just too.
But the thing is, all the machine guns like play the same. I can't tell the difference. Oh, except one that has one has a flamethrower attached to it for some reason. But
JP, you need to get Devil's Third. Rachel, you too. Devil's Third.
and And there's just moments when you run out of ammo and you just so you have to just go.
I think it's like I saw one going for $50 on eBay.
Nah, that's too much. I wouldn't pay that.
I was tempted.
It's
Yeah.
Dave. You know it goes for over $100. It goes for $100 in the US because it was such a limited release.
See, that's why you can't find anyone to play with online.
I can't. But apparently, did you see my Twitter? My Twitter conversation with this random guy who just started like commenting my Devil's Third post. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing online now." I'm like, "What? How? how are you finding games, mate?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm currently playing online Devil's Third." I'm like, "What?"
He's lying.
I don't know. He
Trolling.
seemed pretty legit. He seemed pretty legit. And the great thing is his entire Twitter. Oh, it's a shame we're not. It's a shame this isn't being recorded, but his entire Twitter account was basically Devil's Third post and like being really positive about it. It was fantastic. Yeah, but Devil's Third is unappreciated. The issue is, in reality, Devil's Third is a horrible shit game, but I love it. And
Can you please write a review for the site and just
I will
just
because I
absolutely
might because
bang
I
the
think
shit out of
it's if I can play some multiplayer, I will.
I don't know what would be better, you bagging the shit out of it or lying to yourself that it's a really good game in a properly structured review that actually people will take you seriously, that you actually really like the game.
I might do it. But the thing is, it obviously had potential at some point. Like it could have been a good game. It could
Yeah,
have.
so who actually made this game?
Some
It's
weird.
a guy. It's a Garki, the creator of Ninja Gaiden, and Dead or Alive.
He's such a weird guy.
Well, Dave, he created Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It all makes
That
sense.
was his child.
It all makes sense.
What was wrong with Extreme Volleyball? We saw sexy ladies. Video game ladies.
Rachel, you need to get a copy. It's great.
I like that idea.
Especially since you're in game design, because you can play it and use it as an example of what not to do when it comes to game design.
You mean an example of what to do?
It's a case study. Like basically every single enemy is a bullet sponge. Like every single one.
Unkillable bats in your game are an absolute must.
No, but everything is a bullet sponge because even if you start taking damage, you have regenerating health, which regenerates pretty fast, doesn't it, Dave?
It does.
So you just hide behind a crate or a wall, wait for it to regenerate, and start shooting things again. The only issue I've encountered is you run out of ammo occasionally, which then you can just run up to people and use your samurai sword to hack them to death, which is actually really effective. But the annoying thing is every time you kill someone with your samurai sword, it activates this not a quick time event, just basically activates a in-game motion animation of you like disemboweling them, which just gets really annoying.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that though.
But it gets annoying when there's like basically you're fighting 4 melee enemies at the same time, because basically further on in the game there's these ninja enemies that come at you with like their own swords and knives, and they surround you, and you're taking on like 4 or 5 at the same time. And each time you kill one, it goes into the animation.
Yeah.
And the other ones are still surrounding you. So once you break out of the animation, you can't do anything, since there's a second when it's still your control's still frozen. So they start attacking you.
But I mean, at least it's not Rise, like you said. At least it's not a quick time event for every freaking.
But the way I see the game is it's basically the third-person shooter version of Red Steel.
That's pretty accurate.
It pretty much is. Though I feel like Red Steel was a better game.
Red Steel is better.
Even though Red Steel is highly flawed, thinking back, it actually wasn't a bad launch game. It tried to be innovative. It tried with the Wii mode.
Red Steel wasn't that bad. I never had a problem with it.
I even like the sequel.
I don't know why so many people are critical.
I haven't played. I have.
You like the sequel?
I haven't played it yet. But
you didn't.
Gook absolutely loves Red Steel too.
I did like the sequel, JP. From what I played of it, yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't tried the sequel, but it's like $10 at Epic Games now, I think.
Probably definitely get it because it uses Wii Motion Plus and it has a fantastic art style. Oh, I can't wait for us to play multiplayer though, Dave.
Well, make it happen.
Just because I made this really ugly.
How many people do you need?
I've had this horrible game sitting on my shelf for more than a month now, and we still haven't played it.
Because the thing is, we We only know you need at least.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you need at least 4 people to play a multiplayer game. We only know 5 people, and it's hard to get them all ready, playing at the same time.
True.
Actually, no, we know 6 people because one's Freak, who we won't be able to get because he's hard to contact. One's Gook, who never seems to want to play.
Yeah.
And then it's Case and Pete, and Case always seems busy these days.
Why doesn't Gook want to play?
I don't know. Last time he was busy.
It's probably the unkillable bats.
It's Gook. He hasn't touched the game since getting it. It's just sitting on his shelf, probably.
Like you and your games.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And me, sometimes.
Dave, I want a whole Devil's Third podcast.
No, you're not getting it.
When we just talk about Devil's Third. After you, Case, and Pete have played it
You
all, we
can
just
make
talk
one
about it.
on your own, and you can get that guy that's obsessed with Devil's Third from Twitter to join you. And maybe Infernal as well.